You know how people say, by definition, half of all people are below average, and how, on average, this is usually coming from jerks who think that they are the ones that are above average? Well, I hope to show you how this sort of thinking is just as wrong as misusing whom. As in, it's not very wrong, but it's often very funny in its irony. First, an example. Examples are good. Examples help us see things more clearly. So let's say we have 10 kids taking a test, and this test has a score from 0 to 100. Let's say 9 kids don't give a crap and they spend the entire test period playing on their phones. So they get a score of 0. But then it just so happens that in this class we have some Hermione Granger-like overachiever, and she gets a score of 100. The average, or the mean, is defined as the sum, in this case scores, all the scores added together, divided by n, the number of kids who took the test. So if we take score 1 plus score 2 plus score 3 and so forth all the way to score 10 and divide it by the number of kids. So we can represent each score by x sub some number. So we have x sub 1 plus x sub 2 all the way to x sub 10, and then we have that divided by n. And in this case, n is the number of kids who took the test. And we can even write out a fancy little adding symbol here to denote the sum of x sub n divided by n. And now let's fill that in with our scores. So we have our 9 underachievers who didn't give a crap, and then we have Hermione Granger. There are 10 total test takers, so we divide that by the number of test takers, which is 10. And once we fill in all these numbers, we find that the tedious math is not so bad. We end up with 100 divided by 10, which equals 10. So our average is a score of 10. We had 9 scores of 0, and we had Hermione's score of 100. So only Hermione was above average, and 9 kids were below average. So by definition, we don't need to have half of the test takers above or below average. But let's go with a more positive example, because generally the way that this is presented is everyone thinking that they're above average and people trying to point out that that's fallacious. Let's change up the numbers a little to make ourselves all feel better and say it was an easy test, so that 9 kids got a score of 100 and 1 kid had a panic attack and gets a score of anything else. Anything that's not 100. So let's say a score of 90. Now we have x sub 1 equals x sub 2 all the way up to equals x sub 9, and all of those equal 100, and our x sub 10 equals 90. So our summation of x sub n equals 990. We divide that by n, the number of kids, and what we see is 990 divided by 10 equals 99. So our average score is 99, and this is a high average, but still 9 out of 10 kids is above average. So it is entirely possible that 90% of the parents bragging that their little Emmas and Aidens are above average are actually correct, so long as there are enough little Emilys and Jacobs who are underperforming. Which is an inherent problem in test taking, because one's rank doesn't only depend on that person doing well, but it depends also on others doing poorly. Wishing all your classmates, secretly or not, to bomb a test was actually quite common in my own undergraduate program. There are reasons, however, for this misconception of average. One possibility is quite understandable, which could be a simple mix-up of average, or the mean, and the median, because the median is by definition the middle number. And how about another example of this? First, a list of just numbers from 1 to 10. The median is the middle value. So to calculate the median, we take n, and we want the absolute middle, so we want n plus 1 divided by 2 to get to that middle value. And then we list all of our values out in order. So we write out 1 to 10 in order, and then we just count to the median, which is in between 5 and 6. So the median is 5.5. And incidentally, the average of this is also 5.5. So it is understandable how mean and median can actually get mixed up. And we can see that exactly 1/2 of the values are above the median and 1/2 of the values are below the median. Let's take another example and just take 9 numbers and let's list them out. Here we have 9 numbers, so our n equals 9, n plus 1 equals 10, and so half is 5. And let's just count out the 5th number, and we can see that we have 4 numbers below this number and 4 numbers above this number. This number is exactly halfway. If these were scores, we would have exactly half the people are below and half the people are above. So this seems to explain where this idea comes from. But now let's go back to our original example where we have 10 kids taking a test, 9 of whom are underachievers, and 1 of whom is Hermione Granger. We have n equals 10, so n plus 1 is 11, divided by 2 is 5.5. Let's write out all our scores, and let's count out between the 5th and 6th numbers. Oh wait, that still doesn't work. What we have here is a median of 0, and we have 9 students who are at the median, and we have 1 student who's above it. So even using the median instead of the mean, we still don't have half of the students above so-called average and half of the students below so-called average. It is perfectly reasonable to mix up median and mean. The two words do sound alike, and in many circumstances, the values can be similar to each other. However, I personally think that this misconception comes from a misapplication of average in the context of large numbers, specifically applying average to the concept of a bell curve, which I'll discuss in the next part to this video.